20 shots in 3 minutes. Hezbollah's new jet weapon devours an IDF camp. 20 shots in 3 minutes. A new jet-powered weapon deployed by Hezbollah has engulfed an Israel Defense Forces camp. 3 targets were completely wiped out. Welcome, viewers, to World Perspective. 3 minutes. 20 shots fired. An IDF camp was set ablaze under a fierce assault using newly deployed jet-powered weapons by Hezbollah. Footage released shows a high-speed, highly accurate, and overwhelming barrage that left the entire area with virtually no time to react. 3 targets were eliminated in an extremely short span, leaving towering columns of black smoke and widespread chaos. This was no longer scattered artillery fire. It was a coordinated, calculated attack using new technology aimed at piercing Israel's northern defenses. As jet-powered weapons are introduced into real combat at high density, every defense system is pushed into constant stress testing. And in this rapidly escalating confrontation, each strike not only destroys immediate targets but also pulls the entire region closer to an uncontrollable spiral of escalation. A 3-minute strike that changed the battlefield. 3 short minutes were enough to reshape the situation at a major flashpoint. Hezbollah launched a meticulously timed strike using jet-powered drones, high-speed, precise, and disruptive weapons. The released footage captured the full assault on an IDF position in the Golan Heights, an area claimed by Israel. A relentless chain of firepower followed. Targets were locked and hit within seconds. 3 positions were wiped out instantly, leaving destruction and chaos behind. This was a coordinated operation combining jet drones with guided missiles, launched simultaneously across northern Israel and southern Lebanon. Within 48 hours, multiple waves of attacks were activated, placing continuous pressure on IDF defenses. Hezbollah also signaled a shift toward direct confrontation. Ground clashes began to emerge, with reports indicating 6 Israeli military vehicles destroyed in one encounter. Each strike now serves as both a tactical test and a demonstration of evolving capabilities. Missile barrage shakes northern Israel. In just 3 minutes, more than 20 rockets were launched into northern Israel, creating one of the densest barrages seen in weeks. Areas like the Galilee and the border city of Kiryat Shmona were immediately plunged into alarm sirens. Civilians rushed into shelters in panic. The IDF defense system was pushed toward overload as it faced wave after wave of attacks. Some rockets were intercepted, but others penetrated defenses and struck open areas, leaving large craters and heavy psychological pressure. A second wave followed almost immediately, with around 10 more rockets hitting western Galilee. Notably, Hezbollah staggered its attacks, brief pauses followed by renewed fire, forcing systems like Iron Dome to operate continuously under high intensity. Netanyahu orders destruction, southern Lebanon ignites. In a recorded statement, Benjamin Netanyahu issued a hardline message. The next target, a major Hezbollah stronghold in southern Lebanon. Orders were given. IDF forces began advancing deeper into southern Lebanon, combining ground operations with airstrikes targeting command centers, weapons depots, and gathering points. Within a short time, dozens of targets were destroyed. At the same time, unexpected signals emerged, possible communication channels between Israel and Lebanon, with reports suggesting talks in Washington. However, Lebanon quickly denied any official contact. Meanwhile, Hezbollah rejected any negotiation excluding them. Rescue teams hit, battlefield crosses dangerous line. Footage from the ground shows chaos unfolding in seconds. Rescue teams arriving at strike zones suddenly became targets of follow-up attacks. Shouts for help echoed through smoke and debris. This wasn't a single strike, but 3 consecutive waves hitting while rescuers were present. This raises serious concerns. Even areas once considered temporarily safe are no longer secure. The line between battlefield and civilian space is rapidly blurring. The U.S. enters, Middle East tensions intensify. As conflict escalates between Israel and Hezbollah, a new force enters the equation, the United States. Diplomatic and military moves from Washington are reshaping the regional landscape. High-level contacts are reportedly underway in Washington involving Israel and Lebanon. The U.S. role is no longer just de-escalation, it is about controlling an escalation that is moving beyond predictability. After over a month of continuous fighting, pressure on the U.S. to intervene more deeply is growing. But every move carries consequences. With U.S. involvement, this is no longer just a local conflict. Regional proxy forces, especially those linked to Iran, become highly sensitive variables. Cost warfare, Iran's strategy targets U.S. weakness. In the Strait of Hormuz, Iran deploys a different kind of weapon, cost. Each drone attack triggers an expensive U.S. response. One interception can cost millions of dollars. One night of defense may cost hundreds of millions. Iran doesn't need immediate destruction. It maintains steady pressure, forcing the opponent to exhaust resources over time. This is structural warfare, forcing the enemy into impossible choices. Defend fully right-pointing arrow, massive financial burn. Hold back right-pointing arrow, increased risk of damage. Cheap drones versus expensive defense. Iran's drones may cost tens of thousands. U.S. interception missiles cost millions. That imbalance becomes the battlefield itself. 100 drones shot down equals hundreds of millions lost. Iran's strategy is simple but brutal. Maintain pressure, right-pointing arrow, drain resources, right-pointing arrow, win over time. A new kind of war. This is no longer about overwhelming firepower. It's about endurance, cost efficiency, adaptability. Iran proves that in modern warfare, victory doesn't always go to the strongest, but to the side that forces the opponent to pay more. Conclusion. The battlefield is evolving rapidly. From jet-powered drone strikes in northern Israel, to economic warfare in the Strait of Hormuz, to global power dynamics involving the US and Iran. This is no longer a localized conflict. It is becoming a multi-layered confrontation where speed replaces scale, precision replaces volume, cost replaces destruction, and most dangerously, every small miscalculation could trigger a chain reaction far beyond control.